Today is an exciting video. I'm going to show you two of my favorite blocks. One of them is going to be made using a jelly roll. We're going to break this open. And the other one is just another great block that's a building block, get it, building block, for quilters. But first, my name is Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance, and I can't wait to get started. Oh, also, just a reminder, Tuesday is our Q&A. I've been getting a lot of wonderful questions. Please keep them coming, and my husband's going to be joining me for that video, so that should be fun too. He's going to ask the questions, I'm going to answer them. I think it's going to be a little bit more flowy than last time because I felt it was clunky last time, so we're going to try it. All right, we're going to open this up, and I'm going to show you the first easy block that we're going to make. And this is Christmas Countdown by Deb Strain. Probably an old one. You know where I got it. All right, I'm going to open it up. Oh, look how pretty. And then I'm going to take just a, what's this called? Lint roller, and just look at all of it coming off. Oh my goodness. Just so I don't get completely covered. I'm sure I still will, but it's just a great way to kind of keep your space clean. Oh, look at how nice. Now, if you don't have a jelly roll, you can make this with 2.5-inch strips. In fact, you can make it with any size width strip. These are gorgeous. Look at them. So there's blacks, there's beiges, and it looks like they're all lumped together, which is nice. Ooh, how pretty. Reds and greens. Oh my goodness, I love this. All right, I'm gonna pick two of these strips. They just need to be contrasting. This is pretty. All right, I'm gonna pick this one. I really like this one. Oh, I like that one too. Oh. All right, I'm gonna pick this one. Do I want to go black or do I want to go off-white? I think I'm going to go with black. Let's see, I don't want to get the same print. Well, you could, but I don't want to. Let's go with the dots. So what we're going to do next is just sew these together. And I am going to lay one on top of the other, line it up as best as possible. Remember, these might not be the same length. That's okay. And I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch in on one side. Okay, so now we have this long strip. The first thing we're going to do is set our seams. So I'm just going to take in iron and go over it and relax those stitches. You don't have to do this. This is what I do, but not everybody does, and that's okay. That makes the world go round. And then I am going to press to the black. If you want to press open, you can. And just start, I'm just going to finger press it. Just gets it started. And then press it with my iron. You want this nice and flat. All right, now that that is all pressed, it's time to chunk it up, and we're going to make our 4 patches. So our first cut is going to be cutting off this end. We don't want that in the quilt or in the block. So I'm lining everything up. I'm really paying attention to this line here. So I'm making sure that's lined up on my ruler. And notice my mat's turned over. You know, I like to do that. I don't like going by the lines on the mat because the mat can get distorted with many cuts, so I don't do that. And we're going to cut that off. Okay. Now, let me see. I want to show you, because I can cut with both hands, but I know a lot of you can't, so I definitely want to show you just with one hand here. I have this 2.5-inch by 4.5 inches. By the way, this is 4.5 inches. I love this ruler because I can just go to town doing this. But you're just going to cut and line it up. It has a center mark and cut. Now if you don't have one of those, you can just measure over. See, you don't let that 1/2 inch fool you. You're going to go in, we'll turn it this way so it shows. Line that up and cut. And you're going to cut this entire strip. You'll get a lot. That's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I have them all cut up, and I ended up getting 16 of these guys out of a full jelly roll strip, so 2.5 inches by around 42 inches. And I ended up making a few other combinations because I wanted to show you something. So let's first talk about the block. So here they are as they are cut. And what we're going to do is just turn one around and then flip it on top of the other, line up those seams so they nest. So one's going one way, one's going the other. If you opened your seams, that's fine. You can just match them up. And then you sew a 1/4 inch along this one edge. And then I just chain piece them. I put them through one after another, and then I get them all into one long string, and I just send them right through. But first I want to show you what else you can do, because you can take other fabrics and match them and have some fun. That's why I made some other ones. You can make them scrappy. Look at how cute. These would be so cute together in a quilt. I'm going to keep them together. I like them to be with their friends, at least for this project, because I know what the future projects are going to be that we're going to be using these. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to go sew them, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, I have a bunch of these. 2 came off because I had to change my thread. But anyway, now we're just going to cut them apart. We're going to set those seams. All right, now that these are all done, it's time to play. This is my favorite part. So you get to see all the different combinations that you can make. And you can just lay these out like this. Just alternate them. It makes a beautiful quilt. Just all 4 patches. It's so much fun. I actually like this a little bit better. You could turn these. You do have to pay attention, just like with the 16 patch of the pressing, but you can decide how you want to do it. Look at how cute. You can really have some fun. You can do all kinds of things, change out the colorways, but it really is cool to have this in your tool belt, because this will help you with all kinds of projects. A lot of projects have 4 patches in them. You could argue the 16 patch has 4 patches in them. I know that's been a big controversy. It does, but again, I like the way I have that set up to put together. Okay, now I'm going to show you my other favorite block. Actually, this is probably a little bit more of a favorite block than the other one, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. This is the half square triangle. I like to make them 2 at a time. If you've watched some of my other videos, I show that all the time. It's my favorite. There are many ways to make a half square triangle. Just find the one that works for you, but for me, this is what works. This is what I'm going to show. So when you're making them 2 at a time, you want to make your squares a 1/2 inch bigger than what you want your half square triangle to be when it's in this state before it's sewn in. So this is an unfinished, this would be considered an unfinished half square triangle because it's not sewn in. So it's going to have the 1/4 inch around the edge. This is 4 1/2. That's what I'm doing today. So I would cut 2 pieces 5 by 5 because it's a 1/2 inch bigger than that 4 1/2. So if you were doing 2 1/2 half square triangles, you would want to cut your squares at 3 inch. Now, here's the thing. I like to cut them just a little bit more. So I like to do 5 1/8, and it gives me a little bit of wiggle room for trimming them up. So you're going to take your 2 squares. You're going to lay one down with the right side up and one with the right side down. And then you're going to take a ruler, any ruler, that's long enough to span this, okay? And you're going to draw a line from corner to corner. Now again, there are tapes and tools and all kinds of stuff that you can use instead of doing it this way. This is the way I like. Do it the way you want, absolutely. And then I move over a 1/4 inch, just like that. Draw another line, turn this around, over another 1/4 inch, and draw another line, just like that. Now I'm going to sew on this line and this line. I'm not going to sew on this line. I'm going to cross it off. I already made one because I'm organized today. All right, here it is. You can see my lines have already gone away because I use a disappearing pen. Let me just draw that back in there so you can see it. All right, so I sewed here, I sewed here, I didn't sew here. This is my cut line. And all you're going to do is align up that line, the cut line, the one we put the X on, and cut. Next, and oh, I should have done it. See, I missed this step the last time. When it's like this, before you cut it, you should set your seams. Okay, I didn't do that. That's okay. All right, next, what we're going to do is very gently finger press this over. You don't want to push too hard. It is a bias edge. It's very stretchy. And then just put your iron on it. Don't press like this. Don't go to crazy. You're not pressing a shirt, okay? You're just pressing a very nice, sweet seam. I'll do this one while I'm here. You can use steam if you want. I use steam. You don't have to, again. There's so many different ways to do things. All right, I'm gonna move this out of the way and grab my very dirty, gross cutting thing. This is very old. I really need to buy a new one of these. Okay, now I like to use the block lock rulers, and they have a ridge right here on them that I love. They're really great. They're expensive, but they're wonderful. If you don't have this though, I'm going to show you how to trim them up another way. This one happens to be the 4.5-inch one, which is the size that we want. So I'm just going to hold this, cut, turn, cut, turn, cut, and cut. Now what I like to do is pull these away to make sure I got them all, which I didn't over here, so I'm just going to recut that. Now if you don't have a spinning thingy here or mat, you can use a small mat, or you can walk around the table. You can just reline it up too on this thing, that's fine as well. All right, the other tip, if you don't want to buy the block locks, is to just take some tape, regular old painter's tape, and mark whatever line this is. 60 degree? I don't know. You know me in math. Whatever line this is, this diagonal line, you're gonna mark that. Usually rulers, square rulers, have that line on them. And then I just put 2 pieces of tape and you can just line it up like that. Now it gets a little trickier because we need to cut 4.5-inch half square triangles. So I don't want to go all the way to the edge over here. I want to leave a little bit over because I want to be able to trim that other side too. So yeah, that looks good. So I'm leaving a little bit here and a little bit there. And then we will, let's see, turn it this way. And now I'm going to turn it this way. And now I'm going to line it up on that 1/2-inch mark right there. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4.5. That is 4.5. Just making sure. Putting it up against it. Just like that. And then you have a half square triangle. All right, let me show you what you can do with these. This is a scrappy project I've been working on, and as I get half square triangles in red and green, I've been making them. So I'm just gonna show you, those aren't trimmed. Let me find ones that are trimmed. Here we go. There's so much you can do with these. You can do, I think it's Old Maid's Puzzle, and my mind is going blank right now on all the different ones, but I'll put a list up here of different ones that use half square triangles. But I'm just gonna show you a few. Also that thing, this quilt, that's all half square triangles, that's it, that wall hanging. So you can do so much. All right, let's play. So you can do something just with 4 of them. Let me get one that has a little more contrast. Here we go. Just with 4 of these, you can do this. You can do something like this. But when you add more, you can really have some fun. Let's see, we'll do this. Okay, so that's just in red. Like, isn't that pretty? Oops, that's not right. Here, this is, here we go. Just like that. You sew these together and you have a beautiful little wall hanging. You could have a quilt block, whatever you'd like. Let's add some green. Look at that. Oh, I think I want green in here though too. Very cute. You could do these out like this. Oh my goodness. You can do, let's see what else we can do. We can do so something like this with the same squares that we used. Let's see, let's do this. Can you hear my dog snoring? She's snoring in the other room. She's super loud, which is so funny. And then you can keep going with the zigzag. Sometimes you just have to think, but play with them, learn about them. They're so much fun. They're so versatile. And I really wanted to give you some of these basic blocks building blocks. So you can make all kinds of things using the same techniques. And that way you can batch sew and bring things together. And I know people have said in the past that they don't want to give family members the exact same thing. This is the perfect opportunity to not give them the same thing. You can make a bunch of these and just play and have all kinds of different variations. You can make quilts, you can make wall hangings, you can make table runners, you can make placemats, all kinds of things just with a couple simple blocks. And when you combine them, it really sparkles. So tomorrow we will talk more about that. Tuesday, don't forget to submit your questions. I want to hear from you. My husband will be joining me for that, so can't wait. I hope you have a great day. I hope you take some time to sew, and I will see you real soon. Bye.